Earl.
Yo.
At WNEW, right?
Yeah.
That room that has all the archives of the bands coming in?
Yeah.
How many reel-to-reel tapes would you say are in that room?
Thousands.
Thousands, okay.
Thousands.
And how far back does it go?
I think as far back as 71, maybe?
71.
1971. And is it true, Earl, that these bands would perform for WNEW?
Oh, all the time. It was everywhere.
Would they perform electrically?
It depended. The tech setup usually was acoustic. It was easier to set up.
There you go. And Scotzo would talk with the artists, John Lennon and such, members of The Who, and maybe they would perform acoustically in the studio.
Yeah, they would play songs live in the studio. No, just a simple setup.
Wasn't there something called the WNEW Magic Ballroom or whatever it was called?
Yeah.
The Imaginary Ballroom?
The Imaginary Ballroom.
What happened during the WNEW Imaginary Ballroom?
The bands would play live.
And this would be what year, Earl?
Wow. I mean, it's old as radio itself, practically.
Let's just, is it fair to say before 1980?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
See, we back up our shit with facts.
Fair to say around the times
with
of
facts.
Bob Hope.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
and if you go back to WNEW AM...
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're just
in the olden days.
Well, we'll be fair. We know for a fact from, say, 1971 to at least 1980, there were a lot of bands coming through WNEW playing live.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And you also got to remember, in the days of AM, that was how the radio shows were done. The bands would play in the studio.
Yeah, they would come in the studio and play live. That's how it was done.
There's a bunch of frauds that work around Howard, too. They're all too scared to, bring it to his attention.
Howard,
He's full of shit.
What does he say?
They all just sit there and kiss his ass and lick his asshole.
Earl, he just said, just moments ago, that he invented MTV Unplugged.
Because before him, no one was playing acoustically on his show.
Yeah, no one had an artist come on a radio show with an acoustic guitar and just play and sing on the radio like that. And after he did it, MTV ripped that off and started the MTV Unplugged.
Like 80% of Led Zeppelin's third album was acoustic.
Acoustic.
Now he's just talking crazy.
We know that.
He's lost
That's
his
why
mind.
we like to back it up with facts.
Yeah, but the acoustic...
Do you have an example of some of the artists that played on WNEW?
Greg Lake.
Greg Lake from ELP.
Greg Lake from ELP. Patti Smith. Roger Daltrey.
Yeah.
Wait, Roger Daltrey actually played live at WNEW?
Yeah, he played it. They did an acoustic setup in the studio.
That's great.
Hey, can I play that clip again of Howard? Because we do back up our shit.
Yeah, listen to this, Earl.
Bands never, ever took an acoustic guitar, brought it in, and played on the radio. And we started doing it all the way back to NBC days.
DC 101.
And in DC 101
was
as
Fred.
well.
Tell him, Fred.
And all of a sudden you saw a burst of sudden genius, like on MTV. They started having artists in to do it, and then all the other radio stations started doing it. Today
MTV built a whole series, Unplugged, around it.
Yep, it is so commonplace now to hear a guy come in with a guitar and play a stripped-down acoustic version. I'm telling you the truth. When I was on in Washington, D.C., it was never heard of. And I remember I used to receive such accolades because it occurred to me that people could come in with just a guitar.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
He just lies openly to his listeners. And the people sitting around him know it's not true, but they're pussies. A bunch of fucking pussies. Wow. And that hole, what does she add there?
Nothing.
Nothing. Again.
And guys, the other stations, other FM rock stations, were doing this across the country as well. I mean, K-Rock LA must have tons of tapes.
Yeah, but K-Rock LA, we're being fair since Howard started broadcasting.
Yeah.
K-Rock LA was after Howard started broadcasting, right?
Probably, yeah.
So, I mean, we have a good example, WNEW. We all worked there. We saw the vault. It's sick how unbelievable this thing is. They got all sorts of very, very rare recordings. They should do something with that. They still don't know what to do. They should just hand it over to a record company and let them figure it out. And all these bands were coming through WNEW and playing acoustically, including Roger Daltrey.
So, I mean...
Yeah, hey guys, remember the BBC sessions too, going back to at least 1966. If memory serves, didn't Led Zeppelin release an entire album of stuff they did live on the BBC?
I got that.
Fucking incredible.
I got that. And then we got Ben in the studio. WBCN was doing the exact same thing back in the day.
They had Aerosmith doing that stuff in like 1973 when their first album came out.
Aerosmith, BCN, acoustic.
Bruce Springsteen at BCN when they were on the top of the Peru and Born to Run was out, like 1975. I mean, BCN was back from They started in '68, like NEW.
No one. You heard him. No one ever, never took an acoustic guitar.
Ever. He's the biggest fraud in radio, and people have to start figuring that out and realizing that.
They just kept making acoustic instruments for some reason, but no one was using them.
Another one, Boston, 1976, their first album came out. They did a thing with BCN when I remember that, with like Hitch a Ride was acoustic back then. BCN has all those old tapes too.
But he realized that a guy could just come in with an acoustic. He realized that he could just come in with an acoustic guitar.
Look, he's lost his mind. He's lost his mind.
What do you think they have a tambourine for?
Huh?
That's for the drummer when they come in. Right. Shit's going to be too loud.
Earl?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You just proved our point, which is making Bloodfart very, very annoyed today. Bloodfart.
What's up, gentlemen?
Hey, how are you?
I'm okay. I'm actually absolutely a huge fan of the show. And
Bloodfart, you're not being honest, because I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, why bring Stern up every day? Do we bring up Stern every day?
Well, for the most part,
do we bring up Stern every day?
You're preaching the choir, Ope.
I know, but we don't bring. But you guys exaggerate with your shit, and it's getting annoying.
First of all,
we don't bring up Stern every day.
And secondly,
the other issue some of the fans on Whackbag had was we're spending too much time talking about the assault on the media. That's not true either. Okay. So keep it between the lines. We don't bring them up every day.
It's not every day. It's whenever something like this comes up, some bit of hypocrisy that no one seems to want to point out, that this jackass is going on the air and just bullshitting on a daily basis. And we want to take the opportunity when it does happen to point it out, to show people that the guy's a fucking fraud. What's the problem with that?
Yeah, Bloodfart, he's been getting away with murder, and there's a lot at stake here as he moves to satellite radio.
To who?
Yeah.
To whom? Maybe to the brand new audience on DirecTV that has no clue who we are and was just going past the channels and went, who are these guys?
Okay.
Maybe it's not always about you, Bloodfart.
It is all about you, boys. I love you. Later.
All right. Thank you.
He's on the message board. Attack.
Nah.
Attack Bloodfart. You know what, by the way?
I like some of his posts.
I'm banning him.
No, I like Bloodfart. I really do.
And...
I like him. No, stop.
Next time, he is banned.
All right, good. That's the way to handle that, I think.
Bill, any problem with what was just done there?
No. I think you handled that perfectly, okay? It's just that we have to point this stuff out. You know, Howard tried to beat us up when we first came to New York. It never happened. It never will happen. And as we move forward, now that we don't work for the same fucking company, and where he could strong-arm us with the big bosses behind the scenes, now this is what we do. Now we point it out every single day if we have to.
That's how it works.
And if you don't like it, listen to something else.
Elton John released an entire album in 1970 that was recorded from a session on the old station in New York City with Dave Herman hosting. It was all acoustic.
In 1956, Buddy Holly went into radio stations throughout the Midwest and performed his songs on acoustic guitar.
Yeah, there's so many examples.
And if you know anything about, I guess it would be called semantics officially, Howard is lying so bad that he has to point out that I am telling the truth. As soon as you have to tell someone you're telling the truth,
I'm telling the truth.
You don't even feel good about what you're saying.
I'm telling the truth. Because he knows.
How come Bill isn't saying shit? Is he afraid of not having a spot on Howie's show after you guys self-destruct?
Comics never like bad-mouthing anybody with the show.
I never got into a battle with him.
Jimmy Norton.
That's like when Rogan came in and he trashed...
Mencia.
Carlos.
Yeah, I don't know Carlos.
We understand. We see you sitting there just like Jimmy Norton did.
We have a lot of anger that built up for many years because of this fucking prick. He's a fraud. He's been getting away with murder for many, many years, so we will point this out every chance we get now.
Fucking with us behind the scenes in
no
corporate,
fucking
so
problem.
Screw him.
Jackass really just called me out there.
Certainly did.
Thought I could just sit here, let you
ride
guys
out the storm
froth at the mouth.
It's all right.
As I do every other day.
And make sure you call Howard and remind him that he did not invent this. It'll drive him nuts.
Everyone knows.
It'll drive him nuts again.
David Lee Roth is the future anyway of radio, so.
Of course. We're all scared of David Lee Roth. He'll be the next one we're scared of.
Ouch.
All right, why don't we take a break?